house quotes. Remind me to visit Widget tomorrow.
Okay. I'll try. I'm working. Dinner with Mom said biggest pet peeve is listing ingredients but not in the order that you need to use them.
Oh yeah, that's a lack of editing right there too.
Drives me crazy. I always double check though, because you never know.
That's one of the things that holds me back from doing like vlogs or anything like that. I know people make like money off of it, but I would need an editor to where I would have to just like talk them through how I make something and they can write it down, because I'm too scatterbrained and I would write something down in the wrong order and I would be that guy.
Pop says, I do all the things Paul just made fun of. I think I might be a bad cook.
Well, you're probably following those things though because someone online didn't, just listed a bad recipe. That's I think my point too is like okay, so number one book I'd recommend for new cooks is Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat is a really good resource, but you have to read the book. You have to like read it front to back like it's a book. And if you're gonna make one of the recipes, don't just make the recipe. Like, read what she has to say about like stocking your kitchen.
Like why?
The way to cut an onion. The way how like breaking down a chicken works. That's a great one. And then Kenji Lopez Alt. All of his books are fire. They're awesome. He's my favorite for his books because he's very scientific and they're very well put together. And do I make all of his recipes exactly as he does? No. But I find them fascinating, especially being like classically trained in French cooking and him doing an experiment to be like, is this just something that we've done for a long time that really doesn't matter? And that part I find really interesting in his books. Again, but his stuff like chapter, he has a chapter on like grilled meats, or he has a chapter on like ground meats. And if you could take the time to like read those chapters, you'll learn a lot. You don't need to go and read Escoffier because...
Who has time for that?
Well, and also, nobody cooks like that anymore. No, like, that classic French cooking is built on soups and stocks and sauces that take multiple days, and you're not going to go to your local butcher and get a whole veal and all of its bones. So most of those things are kind of... If you're going to go that route, you want to learn classical French cooking, get Julia Child and her cookbooks. Those are great references because she makes it accessible for home use. And that's another one. Julia Childs, as far as like classical French techniques. Kenji, as far as scientific stuff. And then I love the Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat book. I don't love her recipes all that much, but she does a really good job of having like easy to read, very like home cooking. Like, this is the simplest way I can explain it to you without overcomplicating it for no reason.
3, 6, 9, 12,
That
13,
was my
14,
timer.
15.
So back here, I'm part cooking my acorn squash. I think I'm gonna have to go a little longer. Because this weird recipe told me to microwave them. Which, it works.
Dinner with Mom says, LOL, pro tips with Paul will make us all better cooks. Oh my god, I love her. I think talking about the Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix, so you can watch it, and she makes some of those recipes on there. She's really charming.
Kenji's a master. I just made one of his recipes, RoboStuff says.
He's awesome.
Kenji is amazing.
Kenji also has an amazing, his Instagram. The only thing, I know he has to make his money too, so he does stuff for like New York Times and Bon Appetit, that like, they have like paywalls on their website. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I would say don't spend $5 to $10 a month on like New York Times recipes because they don't teach you how to cook. They just give you recipes. Buy one of these books for $20, $30.
Then you can pay the money.
Read it, and then like...
And then go and do the recipes.
And then, like, I don't know.
You don't have to. I'm just saying, if you want to pay for those recipes,
There's,
learn how to cook first, and then use the recipes.
There was